I am speaking to you now with a tenderness the world rarely understands, because I formed your heart and I know where it breaks and where it burns and where it quietly hopes when no one is looking. I have watched you walk through corridors of noise and confusion, and I have seen you hold your breath when the shadows stretched long across your path. I am not far from you. I am not a rumor. I am the pulse behind your pulse, the breath within your breath, and I am calling you by name. Do not think this is for someone else, for a nameless crowd or a faceless stranger. This is for you. I bend close the way a father bends to lift a child, and I say, listen to me now, because what I am about to reveal is meant to protect you, to steady you, to lead you out of fear and into the shelter you have been searching for in 1,000 unfinished sentences. I sent Jesus to walk among storms so that your storms would never be bigger than his hand. I sent him to carry wood upon his shoulders so that you would not carry shame upon your own. And today he is pleading for you, not because you are weak beyond repair but because you are precious beyond measure. He is not ashamed to speak your name in heaven's court. He is not weary of saying, this one is mine. He stands between you and every accusing voice, and he refuses to move. He is pleading because there is a crossroads before you, more serious than you have realized. And time has tightened around the decision you must make. Hear me, seriousness in heaven is not panic, it is love in motion. It is the weight of your value making every second count. It is the shepherd's sprint toward the cliff where the sheep has wandered. It is urgency born from care, not from terror. You have felt it, the way a clock inside your chest has been beating louder than the one on your wall. You have noticed signs that seem ordinary from far away but undeniable up close, the conversation that left a taste of iron in your mouth, the message that tried to charm you into abandoning your wisdom, the opportunity that glittered and then leaked light like a cracked jar, the late-night thought that said, "What if I am one step from the wrong door?" I have allowed you to feel this unease so you would not make peace with what is trying to injure you. Do not confuse discomfort with defeat. Discomfort can be a holy alarm. And I am sounding it now because a turn is near, and I will not let you step into harm without warning you first. There is a whisper traveling through the world that says, ignore your instincts. Numb your convictions. Rush ahead. This whisper will try to make itself loud on the 30th of October, dressing itself in urgency that is not mine, offering you a shortcut that has no map back. It will present a choice wrapped in bright paper, an old fear disguised as a new solution. A demand pretending to be destiny, a door that opens into a hallway where the lights flicker and debts keep growing. This is the bad news the world attempts to deliver, not that you are doomed, but that deception is dressed for a festival and wants you to come alone. It will tell you to hurry. It will tell you to listen to the pressure in your chest instead of the peace I am placing in your hands. It will tell you to abandon wise counsel, to answer the midnight knock, to sign what you have not read, to forgive what has not repented, to say yes where you know I am forming a holy no. Do not go with that whisper. Stand still with me. Stand still and let my voice find its way through the clamor. I am not asking you to be perfect, I am asking you to be present with me. I will give you clarity that cuts like morning light. I will show you the difference between the voice that flatters and the voice that fathers, between the tug that drains and the tug that delivers, between the hand that uses you and the hand that heals you. If you will pause with me, I will put a lamp in your steps that no counterfeit can extinguish. If you will ask for wisdom, I will not give you a stone. I will give you counsel that meets you at the exact angle of your life, not advice for a stranger's story but truth for yours. There is someone who has underestimated you. They have read fragments of your past and assumed they could predict your future. They have mistaken your compassion for permission and your patience for passivity. But I am raising a boundary around you that will confuse them because they have not met the part of you that has finally remembered who you belong to. You will not break when you tell the truth. You will not shatter when you say, "No more." You will not dissolve when you decline the invitation that does not carry my peace. I am placing steel inside your softness, and it will make you kind without being captured, generous without being devoured, loving without being led away from your life. You have asked me to expose what hides in sweet words, and I am doing it. Watch how the mask slips when you do not bend. Watch how the pressure increases when you refuse to panic. Watch how silence becomes a mirror no flattery can fog. Do not fear their opinions, fear only the loss of your peace. Hold to what I taught you when you could barely stand, and you will stand through this too. I am not promising you a path without wind. I am promising you a hand that does not let go. And Jesus, who is pleading for you, will not plead in vain, because your yes to me is stronger than the loudest lure. Your yes to me is a door that only opens forward. You have wondered if you are allowed to walk away from the things that keep bruising you. Hear me clearly. You are not obligated to return to the places that betray your trust. Mercy is not the same as permission. Forgiveness does not require you to be the floor beneath someone else's feet. Boundaries are not a lack of love, they are proof that love is meant to be safe. When I say do not be afraid, I mean do not be afraid to protect the life I gave you. When I say peace be with you, I am not sending you into houses that riot against your spirit. I am sending you into rooms where peace can live, into work that does not require the burial of your soul, into relationships where truth is welcome even when it is hard. On the day the world tries to deliver its bad news, I will deliver better news that does not break. Here it is, you are not alone, and you are not late. And you are not too complicated for my care. I am not discouraged by your detours. I am not anxious about your future. I am not doubtful about your capacity to choose me. I am strengthening your knees and lighting your eyes and filling your lungs with breath that will not burn. I am placing people near you who carry light instead of gossip, truth instead of threats, encouragement instead of envy. I am removing the taste of bitterness from your mouth and the weight of dread from your shoulders. I am setting before you a table in the presence of the very fear that tried to starve you, and you will eat and not be ashamed. You will drink and not be deceived. You will rise and not be rushed. Listen, beloved, the pain you fear is often the pain of release, not the pain of ruin. It is the ache of untying a knot, the soreness of waking a limb that has fallen asleep, the tender sting of washing a wound so it can heal. Do not confuse that pain with punishment. It is a sign that numbness is breaking and feeling is returning and truth is taking root where a lie used to sit. I am with you in that tenderness. I am with you in that little shaking of the hands, in that breath you take before you answer the phone, in that quiet you keep before you press send, in that pause you make before the door opens. Invite me into those seconds and watch how time slows enough for wisdom to enter. Watch how what was tangled begins to loosen as if someone has turned the thread in exactly the right direction. That someone is me. You have asked for a sign that this is truly my voice and not your fear speaking with my accent. Here is your sign. Peace will confirm what pressure cannot. The path I give you may still require courage, but it will not require self-betrayal. It may ask for patience, but it will not demand pretense. It may lead through a narrow gate, but it will not lead into a cage. When you take the step I am showing you, your spirit will say, "This is challenging and yet it is home." You will feel my companionship in the difficulty, and you will not have to create light with your own hands because the light will be present as you go. That is how you will know. I am also answering the prayer you did not know how to pray, the one that sounded like a sigh at 2 a.m., the one that felt too tired to form words, the one that asked, "Can the story still turn for me?" Yes, it can. The story is turning even now. I am writing a chapter that does not erase what you've lived but redeems it. What was meant to make you distrust your goodness will become the reason you trust my goodness even more. What was used to isolate you will introduce you to a circle of safety you never imagined. What tried to convince you that you are forgettable will prove how unforgettable you are to me. I am weaving a future where your discernment is not an apology but a strength. Where your laughter returns without permission from fear, where your rest is not stolen by someone else's chaos, there is a seed in you that has waited for water, and I am watering it. It is the seed of courage you thought you lost, the seed of creativity that went quiet when criticism grew loud, the seed of self-respect that a long season of neglect tried to crush. Watch it rise. Watch it push softly but firmly through the soil. Watch how quickly green appears when light and water meet. I am giving you ideas that fit your life like a key fits a lock. I am giving you strategies that will guard your resources and honor your time. I am giving you language that says yes without fear and no without guilt. You have not missed your moment, you are learning to meet it as yourself. You will notice, as you follow me through this, that certain doors simply fail to open for you, and this is mercy, not rejection. I am not teasing you with almosts, I am protecting you from almosts that would empty you. And certain other doors will open so easily you may suspect you did something wrong. You did not. You aligned. You listened. You stayed. You refused the show that demanded you dim your soul. I delight to make straight paths for the ones who will not sell themselves to enter a crowded room. I delight to honor the humility that told the truth when lying would have been faster. I delight to crown the quiet decisions that no one else saw. The small kindnesses you gave without cameras or crowds, the apologies you made when defensiveness would have been easier. I saw you. I see you. I will repay in ways that heal, not harm. When the day arrives and the false invitation knocks, you will recognize it, and you will not answer. You will feel the first wave of fear and then the second wave of peace, and you will stay with the second wave. You will breathe and remember that love is patient and kind, and that pressuring you is not loving you. You will let calls go unanswered that do not deserve your yes, and you will return messages when your spirit is steady, not when your nerves are loud. You will put your feet on the floor. And you will bless the ground you occupy with a decision that honors the life I gave you. And then you will notice how quickly the panic loses interest in you, how swiftly manipulation seeks a new stage when it cannot find a hook in your heart. This is deliverance disguised as an ordinary day. I am not done. After the wave passes, I will confirm you with kindness. I will send a word through a trusted voice, a provision that arrives without strings, a moment of laughter that carries away the dust of anxiety, a rest at night that no nightmare can steal. I will let you overhear your own strength in conversation and be surprised at the sound of your courage. I will put in your path someone who mirrors your dignity back to you so that you see what I see when I look at you, not a problem to be fixed but a person to be cherished. Not a project to be managed but a heart to be held. I will give you back to yourself in my presence. This is very serious, and this is very hopeful. It is serious because you are priceless, and priceless things require care. It is hopeful because I am with you, and where I am, hope is never thin. Lean into me. Let me rebuild your mornings with simple routines that honor your body and your mind. Let me guide your conversations so that truth travels with gentleness but does not drop its spine. Let me teach you the difference between shutting down and setting boundaries, between people-pleasing and peacemaking, between urgency that manipulates and urgency that rescues. I am not here to scold you. I am here to steady you. I am not counting your missteps, I am counting your returns. There will be a moment soon when you will choose between the comfort of old patterns and the clarity of my path. Choose clarity, even if your hands tremble. Say the small true sentence, even if your voice shakes. Walk away from the familiar storm, even if the sky seems quieter than you are used to. I will meet you in the quiet. I will tune your ears to the sound of goodness. I will fill your days with work that doesn't swallow you and rest that doesn't accuse you and friendships that don't confuse you. I will teach you to live light and walk strong and forgive without becoming a doormat and love without losing yourself. I will do this because you asked, because Jesus is pleading for you, because heaven delights in you, because I am faithful to finish what I begin. Take this to heart now, you will not miss what is meant for you by honoring me. You will not ruin your future by refusing a counterfeit. You will not run out of time by waiting for wisdom. You will not be punished for protecting your peace. You will not be abandoned for choosing truth. You will not be left behind for choosing to be kind to your own soul. The world may say otherwise, but the world did not design you. I did. And I call you very good, so open your hands. Exhale. Breathe me in. When you wake, call my name, and I will answer. When you are tempted to run, pause, and I will steady you. When fear brings its bad news, hold it up to the light of my presence and watch it shrink. And when the choice appears, bright and rushing and insistent, say, Lord, I am yours, and follow the peace that rises in you like the sun. You will not be put to shame for choosing me. You will not regret the boundary that saves your life. You will not mourn the loss of what was only pretending to love you. You will rejoice, quietly at first and then with full-throated wonder, because you will see what I have seen all along. You were never alone, you were always worth saving, and this very moment was written as the turning of your story. Not its end but its beginning, not a cliff but a bridge, not a sentence but a song. Listen, beloved, I am speaking to you now because the hour is narrow and the path before you must be lit by my voice. Do not delay. Do not wander. Do not believe the whisper that says later, because later is the language of loss. I am near to you like breath, like the quiet pulse beneath your wrist, and I am telling you what heaven has already decided. You are seen, you are chosen, and you are being carried through a night that wants you to think you are alone. You are not alone. I have counted the grains of sand that cling to your feet from the deserts you crossed when no one stood by you. I have kept a record of every tear that dried upon your pillow before daybreak. I have listened to every prayer that never found words because grief made a fist in your throat. I am your God, and I am with you now. Hear me, because this is very serious. There is a shadow that would like to dress itself as truth, a rumor woven from fear, a report that says, nothing good is coming, brace for disaster, hope is foolish. That report does not come from me. The one who peddles panic will speak boldly, and the day will try to dress itself in dread, but I am the Lord who interrupts the funeral with resurrection, who interrupts the courtroom with mercy, who interrupts the storm with the single command, "Peace, be still." The world can announce bad news, I announce myself. When I arrive, out comes bow, you have felt the tremors already. You have sensed an uneasiness that pressed against your ribs and tried to convince you that tomorrow is a locked door and you have lost the key. But I have never asked you to open a door that I did not first fashion, fit with hinges of favor, and mark with the blood of my promise. Open your hands now. Do not clench your fists around imaginations of disaster. You cannot receive what I am placing in your palms if your hands are full of dread. I am not asking you to pretend the wind is gentle, I am teaching you to sleep in the boat when the storm performs its loudest theater. The lesson is not denial, the lesson is dominion. Jesus is pleading for you, yes, for you, only you, because love is not vague and salvation is not a rumor. He intercedes with a name on his lips, and that name is yours. He kneels in the garden of your present moment, sweating the weight of your particular story, and he says to the Father, "This one is mine. I paid for their rescue with blood that never loses power. Let what was meant to ruin them become the very stage of my glory." The Advocate is not distant, he is devoted. When men slander, he speaks your true identity. When accusers rehearse your yesterday, he writes the sentence paid in full across the chalkboard of your memory and hands you the eraser for every lie that tried to set up a permanent address in your mind. There is talk of very, very bad news on the day ahead, and I do not deny that reports will surface. I do not deny that a messenger will arrive with a package stamped urgent, its paper thin and crinkling with the weight of what people fear. But I am the God who reads the envelope, breaks the seal, and writes my verdict across every line that threatened you. The bad news had an appointment, I have preempted it with a greater decree. The enemy scheduled your collapse, I scheduled your confirmation. The adversary crafted a narrative that would make you cry until your bones ached. I have prepared comfort that is not a sedative but a strategy, a comfort that strengthens your knees, clears your eyes, and makes you stand and walk forward when others expected you to fold. Do not ignore me. Do not scroll past this moment. I am stopping time so you can feel the heat of my nearness. You have said, what if I miss it? What if the break I need passes by me? Nothing that bears your name, according to my will, can be stolen while it is guarded in my hands. You are not a beggar at the back gate of blessing, you are a child led to the table. Eat the bread of courage. Drink the cup of clarity. I am not asking you to outrun rumors, I am asking you to outbelieve them. Faith is not a performance, faith is the hand that keeps reaching for mine even when the night would rather you grope for explanations. I have seen the ones who smiled in your face and rehearsed your failure behind closed doors. Leave them to me. This is not your hour to become your own defender, this is your hour to become your own witness. Testify to what I have done already, the valleys crossed, the debts cleared, the night survived, the temptations you outlived. Testify to the small rescues, because small rescues are the scaffolding of greater miracles. You asked me if you are late. Hear this, you are right on time when you are in my hand. Delay is not denial, it is choreography. What felt like pause was positioning. When the clock turns and the next dawn threatens to unveil a blow, I will already be standing in your tomorrow. I will step between you and the blow and turn the strike into a sign. The very letter that said rejected will be repurposed into instruction for the door you are meant to find. The phone call that rattled your ribs will become the pivot that sets you among people who will not use you, will not bleed you for their gain, will not treat your love as a faucet to open and close at their convenience. I am disentangling you from covenants I did not sign. Your heart will not be an auction floor. Your future will not be negotiated by those who did not die for you. You will feel the press to panic. Breathe me in. I am the air of your spirit and the stillness beneath your sternum. You will hear voices declare that time is over, that the last chance has already fled over the horizon. I am not subject to the calendar's tyranny. I created time to serve redemption, not to sabotage it. On the day they announce the end, I begin again. On the hour they say too late, I arrive suddenly, and what seemed sealed shuts only to open a truer gate. The stone sits over the grave, and still I ask, where have you laid him? I am never intimidated by what the world wraps in grave clothes. I want you to prepare in a way that looks like trust. Set your house in order, not because destruction is certain, but because order is the language of peace. Forgive where you can. Release what you must. Close the window you've left open to the voice that only feeds you worry. Remove the chair from your table that you kept saved for anxiety as if it were a guest with manners. Anxiety pays no rent. Evict it. Let the lamp of your spirit burn tonight. If you must weep, weep as those who already hear the footsteps of joy in the hallway. Your tears are not an admission of defeat, they are the rain that softens the soil where new life is about to break ground. You have prayed for a sign and called it small if it did not shake the earth. I give you signs that sneak past your doubt, a line in a conversation that only you could recognize, a door that you tried once and found locked but now opens with a touch, a name that arrives in your mind just when you need to call and you do. And it changes everything. Watch for me in the ordinary. Miracles wear common clothes when pride is in the room, but I am clothing wonder in your size precisely so you will try it on and see that it fits. There are assignments on your life that you have not even dared to pronounce. Speak them. Not to impress a crowd, but to agree with me. You are going to build what you once feared to sketch. You are going to walk where you once feared to map. You are going to love with a sobriety that knows the difference between sacrifice and self-erasure. Your tenderness will no longer be traded for tolerance of abuse. I am training your no to be as holy as your yes. Boundaries are not a lack of love. They are the riverbanks that let love flow forward instead of flooding and drowning the field. On the day they say bad news, you will hear my counter melody. I will teach you how to harmonize with promise while headlines drum their panic. Let them drum. I am the song that does not end when the drum breaks. You will remember this: you survived worse than this rumor. You outlived nights that tried to bury you. You crossed the wilderness without applause. Do not now surrender to a postcard of doom. If fear holds up a portrait of what could go wrong, hold up the mirror of what I have already made right. You are not who you were when you first learned to brace for pain. You are wiser. You are softer in the right places and stronger in the places that used to be all thorns. You are ready. I will not let your enemies feast on your hope. I will not let shame stage a reunion tour in your mind. When the memory of your worst day knocks on your door with a bouquet of lies, do not let it in for tea. Hand it to me at the threshold. I know how to dismantle the arrangement and plant each stem in a field that glows with redemption. You will look at the place that used to be an altar to regret and you will say, "Surely the Lord was in this place, and I knew it not." You will learn to trust the teacher called afterward. There is also an invitation hidden in what they are calling bad news. It is the invitation to focus. To stop scattering your strength in 100 directions that do not honor your calling. To stop apologizing for being set apart. To stop pretending that your hunger for the holy can be satisfied with crumbs of distraction. Draw near. Sit with me while the clock ticks loud. The ticking is just percussion beneath our conversation. I will say things to you that you must write, plans you must keep sacred until it is time to speak, names you must bless and names you must release. I will cleanse your motives from the sediment of needing to be seen and leave only the oil of serving because you are loved. The future is not a cliff. It is a corridor. Walk it with me. You will hear doors close behind you. Let them close. Some closures are deliverance with a doorknob. You will feel the push to run faster than grace. Refuse it. Pace yourself with peace. I am not rushing you. I am readying you. There is a convergence ahead, a meeting of provision and purpose that will not require you to perform a version of yourself that you cannot sustain. You will not have to wear the costume of constant emergency to keep people close. I am sending relationships that prefer your quiet to your crisis. When you lie down tonight, place your hand over your heart and remember that Jesus has already placed his hand over your case. What they said was closed is closed in the enemy's ledger. Not in mine. I am reopening the book where your name is written with joy. I am revising the verdicts that shame forged in dark rooms. I am pronouncing over you what heaven knows, innocent where the accuser demanded guilt, restored where the thief demanded scarcity, protected where the destroyer demanded access. The lion is at your door, not to devour you, but to deter the devourer. The roar you hear is not against you, it is for you. Tomorrow will not master you. I have already stepped into it, and I am leaving footprints of favor for you to follow. Rise with intention. Before words arrive from elsewhere, let mine be first. Say, I belong to the Lord. My times are in His hands. I will not surrender my imagination to catastrophe. I will steward my hope with discipline. Then walk as if angels are escorting you, because they are. Watch the intersections. I am placing you where grace can find you quickly. Do not despise small beginnings that appear on a day someone labeled bad. I often plant gardens under headlines of drought so that only those who listen for my rain will sow. I am not done. I am not tired of you. I am not counting your missteps with the cold arithmetic of disappointment. I count differently. I count the times you turned back toward me when shame said run away. I count the times you were kind to yourself when the old voice demanded punishment. I count the candles you lit for others when you only had matches enough for your own night. I count the ways you kept your heart human when bitterness offered you armor that would have turned you to stone. These counts add up to a future that suits you, so open quickly, child. Open your ears. Open your hands. Open the locked drawer where you hid the dream that felt too expensive to believe for. I am paying. I am underwriting what I asked you to carry. Let tomorrow bring whatever it brings, it cannot outbring me. If a letter arrives marked with sorrow, I will annotate it with meaning. If a call arrives with shaking, I will answer it with stillness. If a door swings with a gust meant to knock you down, I will set my palm against your back and you will not fall. Do not be afraid of the phrase very bad news. News changes. I do not. My mercy was new this morning and will be new again when the sun lifts its face. And when the day that others dread arrives, it will find you different than they imagined, clothed, not in denial, but in dignity, not in panic, but in peace, not in self-defense, but in the defense of the one who loved you first and refuses to let you be swallowed. You will hear my sentence loud in your spirit, rescued, upheld, established, settled. And you will answer me with the simplest, strongest word, yes. Yes to peace. Yes to protection. Yes to purpose. Yes to the love who begged for you because you are worth every drop of the price he paid. Yes, and amen.